So we're going to start on a recipe I absolutely love, which is your simple, basic Thanksgiving carrots. Now, just because it's not Thanksgiving doesn't mean you can't just help yourself. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put this oven up to 350 degrees and let it preheat. So I've got two different tools here. I've got your standard sharp knife, and this is a waffle cutter. And you don't need one of these for this recipe, but it is helpful to make them look prettier. Just like most recipes, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the inedible parts off of these carrots. My compost is going to be very well fed today. Now, what I can cut them is I can cut them in simple medallions, such as this. It doesn't have much of a texture to it. You know what? It'll honestly cook up quite well. It's the thickness of this that is going to mean a lot for your cooking time. And just showing you how this can be very quickly done here. Basically, if you cut them nice and thin like this, what you're going to be doing is by putting them in the oven at 350, you're going to be not dissolving, but making the cell walls a lot less crisp, a lot less hard. And that's going to make it just a lot easier on your teeth, your palate, or the palate of those who you're feeding this to. So that's really the goal here in cooking, is just to make it a little mushier. Now, of course, you don't want them completely too mushy. Otherwise, you can just go for, well, mashed carrots, and that's quite frankly another recipe. But you can also be increasing the cooking speed with this. Makes it a little textured, and that allows the heat to permeate a little bit quicker, and it just looks niftier. So I'm throwing them in this dish. You know, I should probably pull a little sneaky and grease the dish here. It's not, in my experience, I've never really had them stick to the side, but if you let them cook a bit too long, they're going to get a bit caramelized, delicious, and they might stick to the sides. I've honestly always greased the dish. I don't know what would happen if I didn't. Feel free to try at home. Maybe I forgot one time and it didn't look any different. I guess I wouldn't know. There's not enough experimental technique going on there. Anyway, I also haven't experimented on whether or not they taste better when you use the waffle cutter, but they certainly look a little better. And if you're going to be serving these up for display, that's great. Now, you notice I didn't peel these once. Honestly, I'm a bit afraid of the peeler. I have cut myself on that peeler enough times to decide that I'd rather deal with a bit of cuticle than the loss of my own cuticle. So it's, again, personal preference. If you've got someone in your family who simply will not eat a carrot with a skin, then it's worth the time to educate them that it doesn't matter. Or peel the skins. It's honestly your choice. Now, some of these carrots are going to be much on the thicker end, and forcing this through is going to be tricky. Again, some quick action with the knife. And there you go, much easier chopping. Keep them bite-sized. Know your audience. So I'm just going to speed chop all these. Now, I said that these cook a little faster when they're so textured, like this, but one of the bigger issues is this surface area that you've now increased. We want to use that surface area and put something on them that's going to enhance the flavor. Now, you could actually go a lot of different directions with this in how you want to enhance carrot flavors, but the way I want to go to it is I want to enhance what they kind of already have and give them something they completely don't. So what they don't have, carrots don't have fat. Not in any noticeable amount, so I'm going to give them some fat. This is also going to help them brown up nicely. Now, what's going to happen, however, is this butter is going to it's going to seep down into the bottom of the tray. So this is going to be, you only want to put these on the top. It'll go through all of these carrots. And how much butter? Well, I mean, who are you serving? It's always the question, how much carrots? Who are you serving? Are you serving a family of 4? Are you serving a family of 8? Is this Thanksgiving, or is this, I just wanted some comfort food and I'm alone? You know, it's what you want. I mean, heck, if this is your dinner for 1, go for it. You're going to have great eyes. If this is your dinner, your side dish for 21, make 2. It's how much butter? Well, how much do you want? I'd put enough to have it look decorative on top, but not to look like I'm going to smother it in butter. And another thing I'm going to give is, I'm going to give it some sugar. So carrots do have natural sugars, and we're actually going to be getting them out of there. We're going to be getting the carbohydrates in the sugar, and if we let it cook long enough, they're going to taste a little sweeter as they caramelize to the side of the pan. What I do want to do is I do want to show up in a few, probably 20 minutes, and I want to stir this a little bit. So that's entirely optional, but if you want to get all that nice thorough coating, you can stir it during. I'm going to do that just to kind of keep a good, oven's ready, keep a good amount of heat on all of them, but you can also wait till the last minute. Now here's some sugar. I'm just going to give a nice dollop there of sugar. That was probably about 2 tablespoons. Honestly, how many carrots do you have? How much of a sweet tooth do you want? So I'm also going to pull a bit of sneaky here. And to enhance that flavor of the sugar, I'm just going to give it a pinch of kosher salt. Now remember, the kosher salt particles are going to be a lot easier to, you can feel them here and know how much you're getting, but also it's a good amount. Carrots don't have much in the way of salt in them. It's also going to be enhancing the flavor of the sugar. So you're going to get the sugar, the fat, the butter, and all that's going to make this delicious with what flavor the carrots are actually bringing. Now remember, I bought store-bought carrots. If you want some carrots with real flavor, go to a farmer's market. I'm showing people how to enhance some cheap, run-of-the-mill carrots, a 5-pound bag. But if you want some good carrots, you might want to actually have less butter, less brown sugar, and just really enjoy the carrots for what they are. These carrots ain't nothing. Now I'm going to cover the lid, or lid this. This is a fancy Pyrex. I just got it from my mom, who got it for free because grandmothers always get things for free. But you can just use a basic glass dish and cover it with aluminum foil. That'll work just fine. Grease it well, cover it with aluminum foil, it'll work just fine. I'm going to slip it in at 350. For how long? As I said, I'm going to give it a stir. This should be about an hour. So I'm going to put it in the oven for an hour. But again, show up, oven mitt that, and poke them with a knife. And if the amount of resistance with a knife is the amount of resistance you want with your mouth, they're ready. And I would say give it an hour. If you overcook them, they'll be a little more caramelized. If you undercook them, they'll be a little more crunchy. They only become inedible when you burn them, and you should probably keep an eye on that. Here we go.